One of the biggest things that bummed me out about this NBA season is that Zion Williamson missed the entire year with injury. Because Zion Williamson is one of the best young players in basketball. In fact, he's one of the best players in the league. He's one of the most dominant players I've ever seen when healthy. And in today's video, I'll be breaking down the game of Zion Williamson to remind people just how good of a basketball player he is. Quickly before we get into today's video, if you're new and you like basketball, I really think you'd love this channel. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, and be notified whenever I release a video. Doing all those things would just be a big help to me, and I'd really appreciate it. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend to others. And with that being said, let's talk about Zion Williamson. When healthy, I think there's a legit argument that Zion Williamson is the most impressive athlete in basketball, and one of the most impressive athletes in basketball history. I know people are going to act like because of the injuries and the quote-unquote concerns about his work ethic, he may lose a decent amount of the athleticism. I don't think he's going to lose much of that athleticism, I'm going to be quite honest with you. He's been throwing down dunk contest style dunks and warm-ups that just don't seem possible for a human his size. But regardless, this is a 6'6", 285-pound human being with a 40+ inch vertical, great speed, and good movement skills. This is one of the best athletes I've ever seen, and even out of shape, he's still a very impressive athlete and still outlier good as an athlete, which really speaks to just how generational this kind of athleticism is. You honestly probably would find it easier to compare his athleticism to anime characters rather than actual athletes. Also feel inclined to remind you that my comparison for Zion Williamson athletically is the Snow Ghost from Scooby-Doo. Why did I tell you this? I always feel like I need to tell people this. Anyways, let's move on. Obviously, due to his athleticism, Zion is one of the most unstoppable players going downhill. This dude is an Airbus A380 zooming down the runway in transition on the fast break. His combination of speed and strength make him feared as a slasher in both the half-court and transition settings. On top of this, he is a very good handle, and I think that is something that doesn't get talked about enough, but I'll talk more about that later, but it does help him out a lot. He's also just a very dominant player in the paint. He shoots 59% on layups, 67.2% in the restricted area, and 62.9% within 8 feet. He also shot 61.1% from the field in general, which, given his kind of volume and production that he has, is really insane. Should note that these are all stats from last season where he made the All-Star team. A lot of this has to do with just how much strength, speed, and power he has as an athlete. And to be honest with you, the only athlete that comes close to this rare of a combination is Giannis. And when the only other player you can be compared to is Giannis, that really speaks to the kind of player that you are. That means you're very good. It's one thing to be athletic, and I think it's safe to say, yeah, Zion's a very athletic player. But to average 27 points a game on 60+ field goal percentage takes skill. And Zion is a very skilled player, which I think gets overlooked because of the athleticism. Like I mentioned earlier, he has a very good handle that expands his slashing and creating ability in general. He also has very good footwork as well that makes him a threat in the post around the basket. He also has very good touch around the basket as a finisher. It's not just power and dunks, he has good finesse game as well. His feel for the game is very good. I think that's arguably the most underrated aspect of his game. He's a better passer than given credit for. He has good understanding of his scoring gravity as well as good vision and accuracy as a passer. As a shooter, he's far from good, but he has some slight improvement as a free throw shooter, has good touch around the basket, which I think is a good indicator for potential shooting growth, and he isn't afraid to take an open 3 every once in a while. It's not like he avoids it, but he's around the basket so much that he really just doesn't take threes. If he progresses to even a baseline level shooter, which I don't think is out of the question to say the least, he can be even more hard to guard than he already is. This is a player with such a high floor because of his skill and feel for the game, and even if he isn't this world-class athlete, he would still be a solid player because of the other aspects of his game. That's how good I think the other aspects of the game are for him. Yes, the athleticism is the biggest asset in his game, but it's not the only reason he's a special talent. It's the other skills plus the athleticism that make him a generational talent. I want to remind people about Zion Williamson because when healthy, this is one of the two most dominant players in basketball. The only player that I can say with a straight face is more dominant than a healthy Zion Williamson is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let me put this into perspective for you. This is a player that opposing defenses know isn't a threat as a shooter. They know a majority of his offense comes in the paint. They know where to try and keep him out of. They pack the paint. They bring help defense whenever he touches the basketball. And they still can't stop him. Mind you, this is based off what he was doing in his age 20 season. In his second season. His first full season in the league. I know the injuries are a concern. And they are something that need to be accounted for. But what he's been able to do this early on in his career isn't normal. At 20 years old, the league had no answers on how to stop him. I hope he's able to stay healthy because this is one of the most impressive basketball players I have ever seen enter the league. And his fit with this young New Orleans team can be fun. And I think with a healthy Zion next year, hoping that he can stay healthy, obviously. Nothing's guaranteed, but I really hope that he does. This Pelicans team can be really good. Because the Pelicans turned it around without Zion this year. And when you add a generational talent like Zion to a team that already kind of turned it around second half of the season, then that's a team that can be really good in the future. And if they couldn't stop Zion Williamson when he was 20 years old, when he really wasn't even fully acclimated to the league. It was his first full season in the league under normal circumstances. I can't even imagine what he's going to be doing in his prime. But that's the end of this video. If you've made to this point, thank you so much. You guys have no idea how much the support on these videos means to me. I'm really appreciative that you guys watch these videos. Again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. It means a lot to me, helps me grow, and it allows me to make more content as well, so I would really appreciate that. Also, I did a podcast yesterday with Alex Hoops. I had a really nice time. He's one of my favorite basketball content creators, a very good friend. We talked about the creative process of making videos. We talked about how we think about the game, different aspects of that, among other things. So if you want to go check that out, I'll put that in the description below and in the pinned comment. It's a really good podcast, one of the best podcasts I've ever done. So I would really appreciate if you would check that out if you want to as well. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.